much, otherwise they might miss out. Hello Facebook, hello everybody on YouTube. I hope you are all happy and well. Happy Wellbeing Wednesday. I was just saying to our friends here on Instagram, big day here in the studios. I've just got some boxes of this that have just arrived. So I showed you the cover on Monday because that comes through as a proof first, but this is the actual printed thing. So there we go, all ready for summer. And you know, it has amazing recipes, really, really good recipes. Oh, fresh cherry vodka, how delicious. All sorts of things, salads, we've got cakes made with stevia, so the low sugar cakes. Oh my goodness, it just goes on and on, actually. What I might do is, because I know we've got a lot of other things to crack on with today, I think I will record a little vlog for YouTube a little bit later on, just to share some of the insights here so that you can see. But I do hope that everybody is subscribed, because don't forget, it's not in the shops. You have to subscribe, but that's a good thing because it means that you get it more cheaply, because we can sell it more cheaply without the margin in the shops, and you get it with free P&P, so you don't even have to go to the shops, it will just be delivered. So very exciting. And in fact, here I'm in my studios, Wellbeing Studios today. Nice to be back to sort of some kind of normality. And I have somebody with me. I have the lovely Alice with me, who I wish you could smell it in here. Thank you so much, hon. Come and say hi. Don't want to give a wave. So look what Alice is making. She got the picture of health. She's got her own wellbeing cookery book coming out soon, which we will talk about. But so your recipe testing today, these look amazing. What are these?
Those are roasted plum and thyme scones with spelt flour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do I have the hard job of being recipe tester?
You do.
Do you have it with butter?
You have it with butter.
Excellent.
With butter.
Okay, great. Now, thank you so much. I have to say, it smells really good here in the studios. So I don't know whether this recipe will make it into the next issue of the magazine. So we're now starting work on the September-October issue. That's what it will be. But yeah, let's see. I haven't actually tried this. So is this made with fresh plum, Alice?
Yes.
I can see that on here.
Slow roasted plum with thyme.
Slow roasted plum with thyme.
Star anise.
And star anise. I love star anise. Lots of reputed antiviral properties about star anise. Mm. Oh, it's very good. Definitely a thumbs up. What do you think? Is that going to go in the magazine?
Yes.
I think it's a winner.
I think it is a winner.
I think it's a winner. And what else are you doing? You've got something there with nuts over there. What are you making?
I've got a fig and nut tart.
Fig and nut
with a
tart.
date caramel filling.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we better not get into that, otherwise I'll never get anything done. But thank you very much for that. Don't forget that if you make any of the recipes and post them, do tag me, because I love to share, particularly on my Instagram stories. So I'm at Liz Earle Me, or you can tag the magazine, Liz Earle Wellbeing. Always lovely at the weekend, especially. It's always a real pleasure when I see all the little notifications coming in, and I see what everybody is cooking. Gluten-free. Interesting. Alice cooks a lot with gluten-free. You can substitute gluten-free flour, can't you?
You can easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no problem there. Just buy your gluten-free flour and substitute it with your regular recipes. I'm sorry, Pen, that you're starving. We'll stop talking about food and we'll start talking about supplements, because now I warned you on Monday that today was going to be a little bit of a deep dive. We've got a bit of a biochemistry lesson going on. So I hope you have your notepad and pen at the ready. I have got my Liz Earle Wellbeing notepads, obviously, because I know that there's going to be a lot to take in. So we often talk about, basic, straightforward nutrients, the magnesium, and we've done deep dives, haven't we, with Better You on vitamin D and various other things. Well, today we're going to go right down a rabbit hole where I have not been before, and I don't know very much about it. So this is going to be real learning. I'm really excited to be talking to Ed. He's been on the show before. He's the founder of Youth and Earth, Ed van Harmelen. I'm hoping that Ed is in the house. So let me just see whether we can connect. Youth and Earth, here we go. And really, really interesting company, really interesting website. Do please check it out after this. They have very kindly given us a generous 20% off. We've got an affiliate code, Liz Loves, all one word, Liz Loves. So on all their things. So hello again, Ed.
Hello.
Very nice to welcome you back to my studios. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm eating scones at the moment, so I'm feeling...
Yeah, I saw that. They look awesome.
Can I turn you up a wee bit? I think I've turned you up as much as I can. Can you go up a bit, your end?
Yeah, how's that?
Any more? You got any more bandwidth, or is that your max?
How's that? That's me. Hang on.
Just because our friends on Facebook and YouTube can't see you, so they'll just be listening to what you say. So I just want to make sure that it's as clear as
That's
possible.
as high as I can go, I think.
That's fine. You can shout at me. That's no problem.
Okay. So shall I speak louder, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. Now, I'm very interested to talk to you because I first connected with your company when I was looking for liposomal glutathione. So I did my nutrigenomic testing. Interesting, lots of comments coming up here already on Instagram to say that glutathione has changed their life. And for me, glutathione was a real game changer. Gave me so much more energy. I didn't realize I was lacking it until I did the nutrigenomic testing, and then I came up red all the way through. It's a genetic variant, so my children have all inherited it, so they're all, on glutathione as well. And I was looking around for a really good quality one, and that's when, purely through looking at internet searches, I came across Youth and Earth. And there was something about your website that made me think, these guys, they seem to know what they are talking about. And then when we connected here on Instagram, you talked about glutathione. But for those who missed it, can you talk a little bit about your background and your journey into these very specific supplements that are all targeted towards aging well? People don't come to you to just buy a bit of random multivitamin, do they? They are very specific longevity supplements.
Yeah, we specialise specifically. So in the last few years, there's been a lot of breakthroughs in the scientific community and a lot of investment going in now to understand, obviously, because the impact of the older generation on the health systems and so on. So
you carry on talking. I'm just going to turn the dishwasher off that Alice has put on because I think that might be affecting my sound. Keep talking, Ed.
All right. So basically, there's been a lot of breakthroughs in the anti-aging community. A lot of science has been done, a lot of studies showing that now they can start improving longevity and health span. Now, that's kind of how I got interested in, like 4 or 5 years ago. So I started taking these supplements, and obviously they were a game changer for me.
So what did you start with then? So I started with glutathione. What did you start with?
I started with NMN.
Okay, now this is the one that we're going to talk a lot about today. I know nothing about this. I'm completely open and honest with you. NMN. Yeah,
so this will come across like an episode of Call of Duty, Line of Duty.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot of acronyms, but it's nicotinamide mononucleotide.
Okay,
and
I'll write that down.
That's N November, Mike November. So this is found naturally in broccoli, in dharmi, but in very trace amounts. So like a kilo of broccoli would have like 1 milligram of NMN, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah. That's a delayed release capsule you got there in your hands.
Okay, so delayed release. So that means that once I've swallowed it, it just releases its little cargo of goodies over how long?
So the first part is it will try and... So when you take the supplement initially, when it's delayed release, it's just getting past that initial gastrointestinal tract and then dissolving. So it's getting further down before it kind of gets into a certain pH value, then it dissolves. So it's not like a slow release, but it's getting further down the journey to get metabolized by the liver.
And that's all that there is in this capsule? There's nothing else? It's just NMN.
Yeah, there's a bit of NMN. I mean, there's some rice flour in there.
Okay, yeah, but nothing active. It's just...
No.
And what is this doing? Because it says on the jar, extends cellular lifespan, repairs damaged DNA, supports healthy aging. I mean, that is quite a claim, isn't it? How is this doing that?
Right. So what that is doing is activating NAD. So
NAD.
Yeah, so nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So NAD is one of the... It's found in every living cell. Okay, so it's what we call like a coenzyme. So it's a helper molecule. So it's involved in lots and lots and lots of processes. Mm-hmm. right? So even for the creation of energy, so when you're eating your sugars and carbs and that's being broken down and turned into ATP, it's being converted into NAD first. And then So when you have damaged DNA, NAD is used in that repair process.
So can anybody take this? It's not limited. I mean, is it going to interfere with any other supplements or any other kind of medication?
No. I mean, NAD is endogenous, so it's in your body.
Okay.
It's in every living cell. Without it, you would die, unfortunately.
Right.
And so what we see is that because it's a helper molecule and it's used in a lot of processes. Obviously, as you get older, it gets depleted.
Yeah.
So as you age, you tend to slow down, and this is kind of directly linked to these low levels of NAD. Because they're being used in so many processes, they get depleted over time. So what we see is by the time we're in our sort of 50s, we've got half the levels of NAD that we had when we were in our 20s.
Really? Can we replenish it then by just eating loads of broccoli?
So you could eat, yes, you would have. So for one capsule, you'd have to eat 125 kilos of broccoli.
125 kilos?
Yes. So
what?
You'd have to double your farm, I think. And
goodness, I'd have to get rid of everything else and just grow broccoli just for one meal. I mean, that's crazy. And can you take it any time of day? I've taken my capsule out now, so I'm actually thinking that I might just take this.
Yeah. So basically your NAD levels, they increase and decrease during the day. So ideally, you want to take it in the morning.
Okay.
To increase your NAD levels.
Yeah.
And at night time, you don't really want to take it because.
Is that because it's giving you the energy to use up?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think there's actually a direct correlation to even traveling and things like that, and your NAD levels when you do long distance traveling and jet lag and all that sort of stuff. So
that could help with that process. A lot of questions coming in, which I'll just fire at you quickly. Where do you get the NMN from? Is it vegan? Is it a vegetable source?
So we source it from a supplier, but it's sort of extracted through. It derives from niacin,
which is a B vitamin. Yeah.
Vitamin B3. Yeah. So it's like a vitamin B3. So it's part of the B3 family.
So presumably they would then grow that from a yeast or something, would they? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's done through some sort of biological enzyme.
Yeah. Whoops. And people with autoimmune issues, any reason why you wouldn't take it?
Look, what we're discovering is there's a lot of people that are getting benefits from it.
Yeah.
No, there'd be no reason if you had an autoimmune disease not to take it.
Yeah.
I think anything that kind of replenishes something that you've got endogenously in your body that are very high levels when you're young.
Yeah.
And they're being depleted. And so what we see is with a lot of age-related diseases.
Sure. Why wouldn't? I mean, it's a bit like, I talk a lot about hormones and estrogen for women. And we lose our estrogen as we age, and that has all sorts of symptoms and side effects. We're just uncovering a few of them. So, I'm very much in favour of, body identical HRT, putting those hormones back to how they were when we were younger. And in this very similar way, what you're saying is that we have these nutrients occurring naturally in the body. If we've got half as much in our 50s as we had when we were in our 20s, why wouldn't we naturally just replace that?
Exactly.
You're working with the body. You're not putting anything artificial in. In a
Exactly.
way, it's more natural than, taking a herbal supplement or something, because, our bodies don't have herbs in them, but they do have things like NMN. Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
Ryan.
And so the other thing it's doing as well is it's increased. We know the importance of mitochondria. They're kind of the battery cells that create energy.
Mitochondria, I'm hearing so much about mitochondria and degenerative disease. I was listening to a podcast actually on the way up here today about that very thing.
Yeah, so again, it's increasing mitochondria, which is important for energy and that energy process. So again, the more mitochondria you've got in your system as you age, the fresher you're going to be. So we've seen also, like in animal studies, when they combine NMN and give them in these animal studies, that they live, 30-40% longer. They've got longer health span. They're fitter. They're running.
Yeah. Yeah.
In their, in the equivalent of their sort of 70s. So there's been a lot of very positive studies in the lab, and we're seeing a lot of these leading anti-aging experts now sort of taking it and recommending it. So it's a real game changer for people kind of over 40s, and a lot of feedback we get has been like really positive.
Is it ever too late? I mean, if somebody's in their 70s, 80s, beyond,
no,
it's not too late to try something.
No. I give it to my mum, and she's amazed with it and gives it to her friends. And I think it basically the best way of describing it. It's not like caffeine. It's like you just have more energy to do stuff. It's like when you exercise and you have that feeling of energy after you
I'm
exercise.
totally going to give some to my dad. I was talking to him the other day. He is taking all sorts of extra things now because I got him the nutrigenomic testing. But he's in his 80s and he's definitely feeling the signs of slowing down and doesn't enjoy that feeling. How quickly would you say before you saw any improvement?
Look, we have two forms, and I think I talked to you before on the last show we did about the importance of bioavailability.
Yes.
And so I'm more of an advocate for the powder form, which you take under the tongue.
So that is this one, okay, in this little powder, right? Okay, so I'm going to open up my packet.
You take a couple of scoops under the tongue, you let it dissolve, and it goes more directly into your bloodstream. So you should see like a noticeable effect within a day, 2 days, a week. You'll notice.
When it even comes with its little scoop. Do I literally just put this under my tongue?
Yeah, you put that under your tongue.
And I'm not going to overdose because actually your capsules say take 2, so I've only taken 1. And presumably it would be quite hard to overdose anyway, wouldn't it, on something like this?
You wouldn't be able to overdose on that, no. So you take it there, you let it kind of dissolve, and it should just... It's a bit sour.
No, it's fine. It's lemony. It's like lemon sherbet. I just wasn't expecting that. It's fine.
Yeah. That's just the natural taste of it. So it's just natural NMN powder, but it's designed to kind of dissolve, and then obviously you'll take down some saliva, but now it's going more into the bloodstream because it's kind of going in more directly in blood. Yeah, so
I'm going to be the bionic woman. So I would just do a scoop of this under my tongue in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 1 scoop to 2 scoops, depending on the individual. Okay. I don't think you need more than 2 scoops because of the delivery method.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah.
And I mean, I'm just looking at some of the questions here. Glutathione. So I still take glutathione. I tend to take glutathione at night, actually, so that especially if I've had a glass of wine in the evening, just so it kind of helps with that process. Can I take these 2 together? Would there be any problem with that?
Yeah, no, I take both of them.
Do you?
Every day? Every morning, I take the glutathione in the morning. I might take, like you said, if I have a few cheeky wines.
You might take what?
If I have a few cheeky wines, I might take a glutathione again in the evening.
Okay.
I might double down.
Yeah, I know that one. An extra glutathione and a few B vitamins for good measure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the ultimate B vitamin now because
because it's coming from B vitamin. It's coming from niacin.
Yeah. So the other things I see that we don't really promote on the website is longer. Like my fingernails grow a lot longer now. They're a lot stronger. You see them; they're quite strong.
And where's that coming from? Is that the NMN that's doing that? Do you think?
Yeah, it's the NMN, 100%. The hair grows thicker.
Is that because it's working on a cellular level to kind of? I mean, you talk about repairing DNA.
It seems to be acting like a fuel just to help things grow. So, I mean, it's not something that I sort of promote, but it's more like anecdotal.
Sure.
Anecdotally, these are the things that we see. Certainly, when I get a lot of reports back that it's kind of helping. If you've got brittle nails, certainly as you get older, it helps with that. So everything seems to be kind of like supercharged.
Right.
So, yeah.
I guess it's a bit of kind of baby bio. In the old days, we used to sprinkle baby bio onto all our little seedlings, to fertilise them and help them grow. Is this part of what people are now talking about, biohacking? So biohacking is becoming a more well-known term where people are literally hacking into their natural biology.
Yes.
And
Yes.
working with what we naturally have in the body. We know that our cells contain all these different nutrients and that we're made up of all these hormones and different
Yeah.
beneficial bacteria and all those things. And by kind of hacking into that in some way,
Exactly.
we can live longer and live better.
Yeah. So if you were just to do like high intensity training or exercise, you're actually increasing your NAD levels naturally.
Right.
Right. Calorie restriction could potentially also help with increasing NAD levels. So we see that these healthy lifestyle habits that some of us do, and we get a benefit of it. And what it's doing is it's obviously triggering these molecules or raising certain levels within the body, and that's what we're starting to understand, the correlation between these healthy diets and healthy lifestyle habits to increase, like when you go into a hot and cold sauna, for example, that can help increase NAD levels once you get to some. So there's a lot of this kind of correlation between what we're seeing now from healthy lifestyle habits and how we're able to mimic that through certain molecules now. And that's kind of what what we do with Youth and Herb. So it's these supplements that are seen to have this correlation into kind of endogenous things that we do or have in our
So
body.
I'm just going back to the notes I made, and I'm glad I did make a few notes.
Yeah.
So the NMN is, what's the connection that with NAD? Because you talked about NAD that we have in all our cells.
It's a precursor. So NAD itself is too large a molecule for us to take in the body. And also, it's very unstable. It's extremely unstable. So, like, as a molecule, I think over a certain temperature, it starts degrading.
Right.
We can't put it into water or anything like that. It starts degrading. So, we can't take the NAD form itself. So, we have to take this precursor, which
Okay, so you're taking the NMN is then going to help your body create its NAD, which is what we need for the energy and the DNA repair and all of that. Can we take that, the questions I'm seeing coming in here, can we take that alongside other B vitamins? Should we stop?
Yes.
I mean, the other B vitamins are obviously much broader because it's much more than just niacin. You've got, your B12 and your B6 and, all the other things going on
B7.
there.
Yeah.
And I had a really...
It's just part of...
Go on.
No, I was just going to say it would be part of the supplement regime, but what I would say is when you take this and you're over 40, 50, certainly when you're over 50, you're definitely going to notice a benefit. And then over 40, I'd say, like, depending on how fit and active you are will depend on the benefit you see. It might be less or more, but...
I'm excited.
I think you'll notice, certainly if you take the powder, you'll definitely notice.
Yeah, I'm going to, and literally, I mean, I've saved it for today because I don't like taking things unless I have a little bit of an understanding as to, what and with how it relates to other things that I'm taking and doing. So I really wanted to hold off until we chatted. But, I've obviously been doing a bit of research behind the scenes, and I'm just super impressed with your website. And what I really like about it is it's very focused. It's very focused on longevity. So, your imagery is all older people, and I recorded a podcast for this Friday with a lady who's about to be 101.
Oh, wow.
And an amazing woman. It's a really, really good podcast. I'm so excited about it. And, what was so empowering for me talking to her, which, I'm in my 50s, and here she is, entering her hundreds. Because I always talk about us being halfway through and about how do we have a better second half? How do we plan our lives and give ourselves the best chance to stay fit and healthy and energetic and all of those things? And, these kind of things, aren't we fortunate to be living in an era, a few years ago, you would not have had access to this, would you?
No. I mean, this is pretty new, right? So this wouldn't have been around a few years ago. This was sort of discovered only 3-4 years ago. So that's why, it's starting to build more. It's got more momentum in the USA, where they're obviously like a little bit ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
But like only now we're starting. David Sinclair and his book Lifespan. I don't know if you got a chance to read that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So he talked. Have you read it?
I've dipped into it. I don't claim to have read it cover to cover, but I've dipped into it. Yeah.
Okay, because I've got a copy. If you want me to send you a copy, I can send you a copy.
Oh, thank you, my love. Actually, I may well pick up on that because I'm not quite sure where my copy is. It's certainly not here in the studios, and I'd love to refresh myself. Can you, do you ship internationally? Because we obviously have our lovely offer code with you.
Yes,
Great.
we have 2 warehouses. We have one in the UK and we have one in the EU, in the Netherlands. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
so you were ahead of the curve then with Brexit.
I was,
so
yeah,
you forward planning.
Exactly.
That's the way to be.
Absolutely, yeah, that's it. And so we've got 2 warehouses, so there's no problems. We ship everywhere.
Great.
If you don't find the country you're looking for, just contact us.
Yeah. What are you finding? Go on.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to ask you, what are you finding are your best sellers? I think it's always interesting when talking to brand founders directly. Because, in my experience, there's when you have a brand and a product range, there's usually 1 or 2 really key things that are ones that people come back and that they're super successful because they're the repeat purchases. People do really see a difference and they're coming back time and time again. Yeah. What are your kind of key ones at the moment?
So there's NMN, and there's another product we sell called Preservage. So this is a sirtuin activator.
Called what?
I think Preservage.
Preservage, as in preserve. Preserve age. Very clever.
Preservage.
Okay, so that's a what activator? Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to get my pencil out again.
Let me talk about sirtuins. So sirtuins they're called silent information regulators. So they're basically a family of 7 proteins, and they regulate the cells in your body. They basically run like how the cells work. So imagine the cells in your company are like an office, and you've got lots of people working on lots of different activities during the daytime. And then their aim is obviously to fulfill your company mission and to make you more profitable. Now, at some point, you get these kind of internal and external factors that are going to start changing your mission, right? And you now have to start reprioritizing things, working on different tasks, and so on. And so these sirtuins, you would have like a CEO of your company, yourself, maybe Liz, who would make those decisions. In the cells in your body, the sirtuins are making those decisions and deciding how to reprocess
So the
cells.
sirtuins are the boss, basically, are they, of the cell?
Yeah, they're the boss of your cells, basically. Okay. So they're super important. They've shown, actually, that in studies, again, when you strip these sirtuins out of animals, if you do all these healthy things like calorie restriction, weight management, exercise, it has no impact.
Right.
Without these sirtuins.
Really?
So these sirtuins, so they're called they've been known as like the longevity gene. So again, they've been shown to increase lifespan, but they need NAD. So they only work with NAD, and they obviously also protect us. So they go out and obviously defend your body against obviously ailments, etc. So they're super important. I think there's like 20,000 papers on the importance of activating, sirtuins. A lot more research going in there. And the way you would think about it is a car. Sirtuins is the car, NAD is the fuel, and this Preservage product is kind of like making the car go faster, and it's like putting the accelerator pedal
So
down.
What's in Preservage then?
It's got resveratrol.
Resveratrol, excellent, which you also find in red wine, I'm very pleased to say.
It's got quercetin.
Quercetin, is that like curcumin? Is that?
Quercetin's like a flavonoid that you find in like apples and onions and things. Yeah, quercetin.
Is that the same as quercetin? Is that beginning with a Q?
Quercetin.
Quercetin, excellent. Yeah, I'm taking quercetin. Well, I've been taking it since I first discovered it for help with my hay fever.
Yeah, so it can help with allergies.
And allergies. And then I did a lot of research into its effect on the immune system, and I just carried on taking it.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, so this is the combination of resveratrol, curcumin, and quercetin.
Interesting.
And there's a little black pepper in there to help with bioavailability.
To activate it.
actually, when these ingredients are kind of formulated together, they have a synergetic effect. So actually, the underlying ingredients all get an extra boost in bioavailability. So those two products are like probably our best sellers, and the glutathione as well is a good seller.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a very selfish question here, based on what I'm taking at the moment. Could I then be taking my glutathione, which I know I block and I need that for energy? I'm really keen to be taking this NMN, and it's probably psychosomatic, but I feel more energized already, but it's probably the scintillating conversation that we're having. And then should I be adding in the Preservage, because I love my quercetin. I'm very into curcumin, obviously from, having turmeric. And what was the third thing that was in there? Quercetin.
So there's resveratrol,
and resveratrol, exactly.
And it's a little bit of black pepper in there, which just aids the bioavailability, biopairing. Yeah, I mean, that's activating your sirtuins. So it's kind of like you talk about putting that accelerator pedal down to get them more active, and then the NMN is kind of acting to sort of supercharge that and add the fuel to it to make it more effective. So the combination of those two have been shown to be really promising in terms of health span or lifespan. So they're kind of very, very good products.
How interesting. And I was on your website yesterday actually, and also a little bit today. You have got so much information on there, haven't you? So if people want to do it, this is kind of top line here. But if you want more information, do you have anybody, do you answer emails and stuff? Is there anybody?
We respond to all the emails. I mean, if you go on the product pages and actually scroll down,
there's lots of FAQs, are there?
There's a lot more editorial and a lot more information.
So you can read up on that.
Below the fold. Yeah, you can look up on there. There's some links. But you can always ping us an email. We'll always respond.
Great.
Yeah, I personally respond to a lot of them as well.
Fantastic. I love that. Well, it's a real pleasure to be able to, communicate directly with brand founders. I always find it's the best way, because you go just direct to the people who know, the
and
people
I've also, I've gone through my own journey, right? And I kind of to be honest with you, I suffer from a lot of things that I suffer from high cholesterol naturally, probably, I kind of was on pre-diabetic type 2 diabetes without even knowing it before I got and done my blood tests.
Yeah.
I've got deficiencies in vitamin D and folates that I need. Yeah. We talked about this before. I didn't know a lot of this stuff until I actually went out and tested it. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. I'm busting my ass down the gym.
No swearing. Sorry, I get told off if anybody swears.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You work really hard down in the gym.
I work very hard down the gym, and you're kind of thinking you're eating the right things, and then stuff isn't working, and you're like, what's going on? I don't get it. And so, that journey, I've kind of been through that. I'm still going through it. I think we all still go through it.
We're all on a journey. Come on.
We're all on a journey. So, I can talk from a lot of experience. And I think for me personally, the NMN will make a big difference for a lot of people. And
I'm excited to introduce it to everybody and to get feedback. The great thing about my fantastic community here is everyone's very vocal. So they absolutely say, and certainly getting extraordinary feedback on things like glutathione. When you find things, and presumably that these are things that unfortunately as we age you just have to keep taking them, because
exactly
it's like eating food, isn't it? There's no other option really. Just every day you need to replenish with a bit more.
Exactly. And there's another product we got, liposomal hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is a sugar that gets depleted again as we age. So there's a lot of, as you go through this, you just realise, man, there's a lot of things that just deplete naturally over time, right? So it doesn't hurt to top them up.
And have you connected yet with Dr. Aseem Malhotra? Do you know his work, the cardiologist?
No.
Oh my goodness, you should. So he was on here not that long ago, and I'm a huge admirer of his work, and he's very, very interesting to talk to about high cholesterol and genetically high cholesterol. and actually how it's actually high insulin that we need to worry about with heart disease and not cholesterol. And he explains it really well. And he's got several books out, and there's a new book actually that he's got, which is coming out, I think, in about a month or two's time.
What's his name again? Hasim? Dr. Hasim?
Asim, A-S-E-E-M, Asim Malhotra, M-A-L-H-O-T-R-A. And he's on Instagram as, I think, Lifestyle Medicine Doc. Anyway, look him up. He's got a website, and his books are really interesting. But he is, he's an NHS trained consultant cardiologist, so he's a top guy, and he talks a lot about the cholesterol myth actually, and is very anti-statins and all sorts. So he's a very interesting guy to just to read just to read his research.
Yeah, we're looking at some potential products, natural products that could potentially replace statins.
You've got to connect with him.
Yeah,
you've got to connect to it. Mention my name. Just ping him an email or a message and just say that we've spoken. And I think that could be really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Ed, it's great to chat to you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for explaining. I think I have my notes. I think I've got it. I'm definitely going to be taking this. I will be reporting back. Thank you for your discount. Yeah. We're super pleased. And good luck with it. And will you come back next time and let's talk about the next thing? Maybe we'll look at that internal hyaluronic acid, because I know hyaluronic acid obviously is a main skincare ingredient to use externally. So I'm not so familiar with using it internally.
Yeah, we can come on and talk about that, absolutely. And some other stuff.
Great.
All right, Liz, thank you very much for your time.
Have a great day. Happy Wellbeing Wednesday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wednesday. Cheers. Bye.
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 Oh my goodness. Gosh, I don't know about you, but my brain is beginning to hurt. It's just always so fascinating. Do they do subscriptions? I don't know. Take a look at the website. But we have got, I know they're pricey, but we have at least got 20% off, which is great, isn't it? So, a fifth off, you can go and try it. Liz Loves, it's an affiliate discount code, and you'll find all the affiliate codes always on Earle Wellbeing. Just having said that, there are a few actually that are running out, because we are, can you believe it, the 30th of June. So there are a few. The website address, who is that? Can I send out the textbook before the next lesson, please? Yeah, it does feel a bit like that, doesn't it? Well, I try and kind of vary things. So we do a bit of kind of heavy duty learning, and then a bit of froth. We've got a lovely fun fashion frothy thing coming up on Friday, so that's kind of going to make up for the brain power. Although maybe if we're all taking NMN, we're just going to be sailing through everything. A few things that are coming to an end. I think I talked about this on Monday. So all my little wild rose jewellery, this is all 25% off at the moment, but only until midnight tonight if you're watching me in real time. You don't need a code, it's just up on the Earle Jewellery website. We are also, the Emma Bridgewater, very unusually, has given us all a 15% discount, but it's a one-time only code, so if you're a first customer, then you can use that. But that also ends tonight as well. A couple of things. I know there are lots of chat going on just now about the Life Code GX. We talked about the nutrigenomic testing. So this is something that I've talked about actually in the couple of last issues of my magazine here, and this is an extraordinary company, Emma Bezic, who I've recorded I think 2 interviews now on YouTube. You can go and take a look. That's how you do a little swab from the inside of your cheek, and they test for various genetic variances in nutritional genes, and that's how I discovered that I block glutathione, and that's why I now take it, because I can't naturally make it. I don't have that genetic ability to do so. So since just taking glutathione, I already feel, and literally from day one, felt so much more energized. And I can't believe if I'm going to be on this stuff as well. Can you imagine? I'm going to be like that little Duracell rabbit. So I'm very excited to try that. So we do have the Life Code GX. Normally you have to go through a practitioner. So it's quite complicated normally, but because I wanted to make it available easily to everybody, they've done a special link just for us. So if you head to the Earle Wellbeing website, you'll find the link. It's under Liz Loves, and it's basically, or maybe you can go onto their website and key in Liz Earle, I'm not sure, but anyway, they've done a special package for us, and that gives you the the test, it gives you the report, and it gives you a one-to-one follow-up with a practitioner for 30 minutes afterwards just to go through it and explain it. For many, many people, it has been life-changing. So thank you so much for all your comments and reports. Certainly for my family, it has been unbelievably helpful. In the things that we need and the things that we don't need, frankly. There are certain things, that, as one member of my family who did the test, she was perfectly fine. Didn't actually need very much at all. So it's not actually that bothered about, buying so many supplements. Others, total blocks for things like vitamin D or glutathione. And then specifically, where you need to spend your money. That's the key thing. You don't want to waste it, do you? Because these things aren't cheap. So yes, so the Life Code GX is a special test for us with the link. And then you put in Liz Loves at the end of the checkout, and then it gives you a 15% discount on top of the special package. So it's a really good deal. It is still quite pricey. I think it comes down from about £400 to about 330, something like that. But it's a one-time cost. Our genes don't change. You could do this test at the age of 6 months or 96, and your result will be the same. So it's not like something that you've got to completely, keep doing. How am I doing? Do I need to track it? It's very binary. Your cell is either there with that bit of DNA coding, or it's not. And if it's not there, then it's not going to come back magically overnight. But what you can do is you can kind of hack around it. So I mentioned that word biohacking earlier. That's what this is all about. It's understanding our genes, understanding our makeup. I'm different from you. What's going to work for me or my daughter or my son or my mum is not necessarily going to work for you. But there are some commonalities generally that are general to all of us. But then there are also very specific things like these blocks, which can be very helpful. Anyway, do take a look, and it's all up on the Earle Wellbeing website. Of course, now before I go, just a very quick update here. I know, Silver Drive, you've got to work out the codes, the science and the maths. Oh dear. I hope you've got your notebook and then you can put it all in there. I think I've now got a pencil. I think what I need to do now is special Earle Wellbeing pencils and pens, maybe. Maybe that's next on the list. Gosh, lots of questions here. I am going to answer a few of these actually on YouTube because I haven't got time to do this now. But I do just want to let you all know that I am going to be back live on Friday. Garance, you're sending out a test. You can't test everybody. That's awful. I'm on knowledge. Do you remember? Now remember, the NMN is needed for what? It's needed for the NAD in all our cells. You got it? I'm going to be going back onto the Youth and Earth website, I have to say, to refresh my memory. And the sirtuins, the silent information regulators, sirtuins, the bosses of the cells. Very interesting. Anyway, I will be back live on Friday. You won't need a pencil and paper, hopefully, on Friday, because it's going to be a fab fashion Friday. And I'm going to be joined by Alice, a great female founder, Alice Asquith. And you've seen me wear loads of her stuff before. And we're going to talk a little bit about founding fashion brands, sustainable fibres, how do you make bamboo into a fabric, all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be really fun. And she'll be showcasing some of her new things. Now, on Friday, I think I'm right in saying, Martha, you're upstairs, aren't you? Yeah. Friday is over on Earle Wellbeing, is that right?
I think so.
That's what it says on my note here. Okay, yeah, starting Friday the 2nd of July with Alice Asquith. Okay, so this is really important. Pay attention. Write it down in your notebook. I won't be hosting, for those of you watching on Instagram, it won't affect you guys on Facebook or YouTube. Don't worry, you can kind of switch off at this point. But if you're watching me on Instagram, on Friday, you need to be logged in to watch the Earle Wellbeing Instagram, okay? It'll still be me here. I'll just be using the Earle Wellbeing platform instead of Earle Me. I don't think it'll be the last Friday live. It certainly will be for the summer because I'm going to do a little bit of a summer break and just go down to my Mondays and Wednesdays and just pop stuff on YouTube perhaps on a Friday. But I'm going to use my Instagram, my Earle Me, just for kind of a bit more personal stuff. So I just thought it would be quite nice to just to split things out a little bit because, I started doing these lives during lockdown, the original lockdown, whenever it was, March 2020. And I just did them because I thought I want to connect with people, and it just kind of grew organically out of Liz Earle Me. But actually, the things that I'm doing, you know, is very much all the sciencey stuff and all the brands and all the articles and things relating to Liz Earle Wellbeing, the magazine. So kind of makes sense, I think, at this stage, particularly as we think about going into a bit of a summer break, is to actually do my lives and my Facebooks and everything on Liz Earle Wellbeing. So it'll still look exactly the same. It's just clicking on a different handle, as it were. And then my Liz Earle Me Instagram will just be much more about my home stuff. So, you know, not the minutiae of it, but, you know, things that I'm up to, a bit more kind of general stuff, bit more kind of laid back maybe. So not so worky. So I hope that works for everybody. And thank you, Sarah Lou. That's really nice of you to say. Thank you. No, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good fun. Very good fun. So yeah, so that's it for today. Big thanks to Ed. Do go and check it out. While it's all fresh in your mind, do go and check out Youth and Earth. I think you'll be impressed with their website. I was impressed. Love chatting to Ed. Lovely to have his time. Very grateful for the 20% off. So you can try, and you know, he says that you see a difference pretty much straight away. So, you know, within the first few days, within the first few week or so. So worth trying, and I think we're going to try, fingers crossed, and keep that discount code going. So, you know, you can dip in, try a little bit of something, see if that works for you before, you know, having to worry about, well, I better get a big order while it's still there. I know that also my lovely friend Zana Morris, who's another, I regard her as a biohacker, actually, Zana. She's the one who's into high-fat food, high-intensity exercise, weight-bearing, all of that. She does now have her Amino Slim back in stock. And I have to say, I am really enjoying the Amino Slim. Go and check that out. It's and she has got it, because every time I talk about it, it just disappears. And she has given us a discount on that as well. So if you want to shed a few inches, perhaps for the summer, and do listen to her talk about it. I've spoken about it here in the past and also on YouTube, because again, it is a real thing. So that is, where is she? She's Strong Nutrients, yeah, 15% off. Again, it's an affiliate code, so it's Liz Loves, all one word, for 15% off. And she does have some in, so if you want it, grab it, because it never stays around for very long. Anyway, I shall look forward to seeing you on Friday. Do ping me any questions. You can leave me questions in the comments. I do pick those up. I don't do direct message, I'm afraid, on Instagram, but I do look at my comments and try and respond to that. Thank you, Joy. That's a really nice comment. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Anyway, have a great few days. It's hump day. Don't forget, if you're watching me live, it's Wednesday, which means we're halfway through. We're at the top of the camel's hump and we're about to cruise down the other side. So I look forward to seeing you all on Friday. Stay safe and stay well. Sending lots of love. Bye-bye.